Oh, good morning. How we doing this morning?
Good morning.
Is everybody awake? It's Thursday. I know that we're all excited to be back in the office together, right? My voice is still slightly gone from Hollis Funeral and roller coasters over the weekend, but I'm going to attempt to finish out today. All right, we have a special guest today, Jan Duran from Corinthian Title. We are on Zoom, so I think we've got like 6, 7 agents, 8, 9 agents in there from on Zoom. So we do welcome you back to the office. So moving forward, we're not sure how much longer Zoom will continue. So we did do it today a little bit of a hybrid. So just plan on coming into the office where we can collaborate together. All right, we're talking about open houses today. And Jan Duran, we're gonna let her go first. She's got some wonderful tools that she provides from Title, and she's gonna share with us some treats, or not treats, but some cool things that we could use at our open houses. So I'm gonna turn the floor to you, and then we'll jump back up.
Thank you, Audubey.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone on Zoom, and nice to be here in person with everyone. Hi, Felipe. Thank you for having me. So I was so excited to, hear that agents are doing open houses again and people are getting out there. And, I think that we just missed that so much. So I just wanted to share with you a few of the things that we have for like just open house. We just call it an open house bag or a listing kit. And some of the things that we put in it to help you with your open houses. So it comes just in this blue bag that you can throw things in. There's a bottle of water. There's hand sanitizer still, you never know, depending on your seller. Some sellers are still like, I want everything sanitized. I want signs posted, don't touch anything. I mean, we're kind of in a transition period right now. So some people want signage that talks about that. And in our open house kit, let me find it.
Who wants to guess how much this costs?
Free.
It's free!
Yeah, $1.90 free.
It costs a reciprocity, right?
Well, I mean, certainly in my heart, I'm here to help you, and I do provide it all to you for free. Reciprocity is always great, but I'm here to help you. So that's really what it's all about. And I'm a firm believer in when you're doing right for others, others will do right for you. So, that's the philosophy I live by. So anyway, going back to this, some people still want signage. And this is just a little posted sign that says all visitors to the property must abide by the following rules. Wear protective face masks if your sellers are inclined with that. Wear gloves, wash your hands, don't touch surfaces, that kind of thing. So the sign is in there. There's I'm going to put this over here. I don't know if that's easier for the Zoom people, but there's a home seller's guide. So you can leave this with your seller. It's filled with a lot of information on what's going to happen throughout the transaction. There's a home buyer's guide that you can pass along and share with the buyer. There is, I love these little cards. They're my personal favorite. They're little tent cards. And the tent cards, they call them a tent card because it's like a little tent and you can just set them around the house. Please leave your business card, special features, security camera recording. That's a good one because people,
The Ring doorbell.
The Ring doorbell, or people have cameras in their homes. A lot of people have cameras in their homes. I have a camera in my Havasu house and I saw someone walk in yesterday, which is good. It was a plumber, but anyway, that's another story. Please remove your shoes, set the alarm, don't let the cat out. So anyway, there's, secure the property, a lot of different cards, and I love them. I think they're really fun to have around the house.
Yeah, these are great.
This is an open house checklist, and it just tells you 7 days before the open house. And 7 days before the open house is to, send out your invitation postcards, post your open house on social media, call and invite 100 of the neighbors, find and book a caterer, mark the open house on MLS and Zillow, post the open house on Craigslist, and find and book a staging company if you're going to be doing that. 2 days before the open house is knock on doors with open house door hangers, clean and stage the home, record a video tour and post it on social media. Prepare your welcome signs, your sign-in sheets, your open house brochures, house hunting checklists, buyer's roadmaps. And then the day of the open house, place a maximum number of open house signs in the neighborhood, run your Facebook ad, knock on the neighbors' doors again, hang up welcome signs. And then it tells you, and there's more on it, and then it tells you the day after, you know, it's a good reminder of your follow-up. A lot of it is things that we already know, right? But if you're following a checklist, it's just reinforcing to you that some of the things that you need to do. There is a guest registry, an open house guest registry, so you can get your visitors' contact information. In case you have people that bring kids that want to run wild through the open house, there's a little coloring book, an activity book, and some crayons. I include a pen, my scratch pad, and then the Riverside County important phone numbers. So it's listed by city throughout Riverside County. And it gives the important phone numbers for the gas company, electric company, water company, cable company, internet company, you know, all of that. So for your buyers or your sellers that are moving to different cities, that's great information as well.
And you're gonna get that all the time, new buyers coming in, they don't know who's the water, who's electricity, gas, because it differs. You know, there's different municipalities for water. And so you may think that you're in whichever, but you're actually going to be able to control the inside of the street. From
absolutely.
So,
and everything that I put together in this kit, it's all available for you digitally as well. So if you said, hey, Jan, can you just email me that, you know, that list? Of course, I can do that. It's all available digitally for you. So all that comes in your little grocery bag. And then I wanted to tell you a couple of other things, especially for newer agents or for agents maybe that have been signed up before, but don't use it currently. Breakthrough Broker is a great source for all kinds of information. And Breakthrough Broker is nothing new. It's been around for a while. And I can subscribe you to it at no cost. But what I love about Breakthrough Broker is they're always updating it and giving you new ideas. So when you log on to Breakthrough Broker, some of the tabs that they have are a marketing tab. And the marketing tab helps you to create flyers, brochures, postcards, social media graphics, listing and buying presentations. Hello. They have a tab for social media that teaches you how to do, and there's videos on all of this too. Facebook advertising, listing posts, lead generation posts. There's planning, a planning tab that has new agent tools, business planning, checklist, real estate accounting. That's all great too. There's an entire section on Breakthrough Broker on open houses. And you can create and brand your own welcome signs, guest registries, safety signs, single open house feedback forms. And then the one that I really like, and I brought a copy of it too, is the multiple open house comparison chart. And I'll just pass this one around to you guys here. I love this one. It's a comparison chart for a buyer who's going around and looking at multiple open houses. So whether they're doing that on their own or whether they're doing that with you on a weekend, the hardest thing for them is to remember which house was which. You know, it's like, man, I really love that house, that blue house.
Yeah.
But which kitchen was that? You know, and they have a hard time remembering at the end of the day. So I love that sheet because there's a whole list of comparisons on it. And I literally printed that out. I branded it for me, even though I'm not a realtor, I branded it for me in less than, you know, probably 30 seconds. I mean, it was a minute and a half, maybe. It was so quick. So I think that a great thing if you're taking buyers out to share with them and say, take notes and keep this. So at the end of the day, when we're talking again about the houses that we visited, you'll have a reminder on which ones were which. So that's kind of some of my tips for today. And if any of you, I'm going to leave this kit here if anybody wants it. If anybody has a new listing coming up or an open house planned and you'd like a kit, please go ahead and email me. I'm going to leave some of my cards in the office, but for those of you on Zoom, my email is jan.duran@CorinthianTitle.com. And I have a feeling that Felipe's maybe putting that in chat right now. So thank you. And I'm happy to provide a kit for you. I'm happy to sign you up for Breakthrough Broker. If you have that already, revisit it because there's some great ideas on it. And if you don't have it, please let me know. I'm happy to subscribe you to it for free. So those are my tips, and I hope that you found something interesting and can get out there and be out there and do some open houses and get some business going. If I can help you, I'd love to be your partner.
Yay!
Thank you for inviting me out of it.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I'll just put this together and out of your way.
Jan is a wealth of information, so if you have a question regarding anything with title also, please feel free to reach out to her.
That I neglected to tell you all is the second component that I do to help my agents who get new listings and are doing open houses. So if you get a new listing, two of the things that I do, and you're well aware of this, is I always review your prelims. I review your prelim to point out to you anything on it that might be important. A lot of agents don't fully read and understand their prelims, and they depend a little bit on escrow for that, and that's okay, but I'm just a second set of eyes. I've been in the title business for about 17 years almost. So I started out in customer service. And so I learned the title business from the inside out, and am definitely a problem solver when it comes to title issues. So that being said, if you have any problems with title, I'm always here to help, whether we're on the transaction or not. And also the second thing that I do is I take your new listing, and if you want to market around that listing, instead of just pulling 100 homes surrounding for you to spend your money and send out postcards to, I target specifically based on demographics for who is most likely to be your next seller. And out of 100 homes, there might be 23 or 13 or that are most likely to become the next seller. And that's better. And I feel like I'm looking straight at them. And that way you can save your marketing dollars and really target in on the people who are most likely to be the next to sell. So hopefully that is an advantage and helps the agents that I work with as well. So if there's any farming I can help you with, title business I can help you with, open house supplies, just email me, give me a call. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sure. Appreciate everything that you shared.
Jan, do you provide door hangers?
I can't buy door hangers that are branded to you. I could provide door hangers that are branded to Corinthian Title, and that's a violation for us. The SB 133 that came out quite a number of years ago now says that we can't, as title or as a vice president of sales or a title rep, I can't provide anything to you that is a service that you normally would be paying for yourself.
Can you give us the ones that are branded to you then?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you could order me a batch of those door hangers, I send out 50 door hangers a day. So if you're able to get me a batch of those, I would appreciate it, and I can put those out and they can advertise your title company.
I'm so happy to do that. And I can't, if you were to staple your business card to it, I can't do that because the law says we can't co-brand or co-market business together. That's a RESPA. But I certainly can provide you with Corinthian Title ones, and that would be great.
We would just make a flyer to the door hanger.
So you have your marketing piece, I have my marketing piece, and we're just, helping clients together. There's nothing wrong with that.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
I also tell people, if sometimes for newer agents that want to do farming, but they feel self-conscious maybe to do it by themselves, I always tell people too, if you want to go farming and door knock an area, I'm happy to spend an hour and go with you.
In this heat?
In this, we are. Give all the chance to spend time together and get to know each other. And sometimes it's just like having an accountability buddy, because you can't chicken out then if you've already told Jan Duran that you're going to go. So I think that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. This is Kathy. Regarding the target demographic, say there's a sale or a listing, aside from flyers or door hangers, is it something that you could nail down or narrow as far as address labels or surrounding data so that the marketing could be approached by, like, say, myself, sending out mailers for that particular grouping?
Absolutely. So what I send you is a CSV format list of who we deem likely to be the next sellers. So let's just say there's 23 of them. It'll be like a 6-line form that gives you all the property information, the owner's name, address, all the property characteristic information. And then I also print out labels to go with that for your mailing. If you wanted to get phone numbers or emails, that's available, but it's available at a cost. And again, I can't provide you with that because that would be a violation for me, but it's a super, super minimal cost. If you want phone numbers and emails, I think it's 12 cents. It's 5 cents for emails and 7 cents for phone numbers, or vice versa. So it's super inexpensive for, if you're just pulling phone numbers and emails in a small batch.
Okay, thank you.
So if there's like one home that I really wanted to know, like I couldn't find the owner, you could help me find the owner's phone number and email?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And we also have programs on our phone. If you don't have the Corinthian Title phone app, which is paired up with our Title 247, where you can pull your own property profiles, pull your own net sheets, do all that yourself. And you can actually, with the phone app, you can actually stand in front of a home with your phone, and it will pull up all the information on the homeowner, not including phones and emails. That information isn't public record, but it'll pull up all the public records. So that's kind of a fun.
So it's based on GPS.
It just pulls it right up. I kind of, if I saw someone out with their phone looking at my house, I might think twice. So I would say be, a little candid when you're doing that. But
so it works with residential and woodland?
It should
Well,
work.
it's based on
with
EPN,
land.
right? So
Yeah, it's based on EPN, so it should. But I'm gonna say with land, depending on where you are, and how big the land is, it may be more difficult. Yeah.
Any other questions for Jan?
good.
All right, you guys, so
Excellent.
with that, thank you so much again, and, oh, yes, you will need a
Still
code.
have to see. Yeah.
Yeah, so give me one of your cards, I'll make sure to get you all set up.
Thank you, Jan.
You're welcome.
Leave that here. We're gonna just throw stuff all around the table here.
Just leave it all here.
Leave it all right here. Very good. Thank you again to Jan. We're gonna just jump into now, just preparing for an open house, what you should have ready for you. So we've got some things here laid out on the office. I'm going to go over those with you now. So if you're taking notes, continue to do so. And first and foremost, when we're talking about open house, no one knows it's open if you don't publicize that it's open. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to have signage. So how many of us here right now currently have our own signage for posting for an open house? All right, so I see some hands going up and I see some hands did not go up. So feel free. I know all the agents in the office here, myself included. If you're looking to do an open house and you don't have signage, reach out to one of us as you're getting yours ordered, like you got them coming up this weekend, because you can borrow our signs. We don't mind. You know why we don't mind?
Why?
Well, because you're putting my name and my face out there on the side of the street. So of course, I don't have a problem with that. Mhm.
They're pretty cost effective.
Absolutely. So you want to make sure that you've got proper signage when you're doing an open house. Some agents I've seen do as many as 5 or 6 signs. I've seen agents do as many as 50 to 60 signs for an open house. It's going to be up to you how much you want to put in. But again, the more signage that's out there, the more likely it is that someone's going to stop by and think, wow, they're really excited about this home with these 60 signs. So maybe I should stop by and at least see what's going on, right? So think about that. Other places that you're going to want to be putting this information is on your social media platforms. Make sure you're promoting it there as well. Also remember that any of our listings here in the office, you can promote. So get those out there, show that you're an agent in the business working. Real estate websites where you can promote these as well. And another thing is door knocking. So before you do an open house, it's a great opportunity to go out and meet the neighbors that are around that home. 50, maybe 100 doors, depending on how you can do. I know it's warm outside now, and it will be for the next several months. But door knocking is a great way to inform the neighbors that there's a new home that's for sale and invite them personally to that open house. Yes. Mhm.
So a lot of times I will have the listing coming up and say, and we're gonna do pictures on Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't get the picture till Wednesday or Thursday.
Mhm.
You want the first one on Saturday, but if you don't have a picture, then you're not really promoting it with like the photos, except for maybe the day before or 2 days before if you're lucky.
Mhm.
So if you're supposed to do all that earlier, or do you just promote it with address only, or?
Because of course it will be your listing, I would say you would know about that home, so you'd be able to tell them about it and the features that it has. One picture, if I do a flyer or anything like that, a picture of the front of the house is sufficient. The bedrooms, bathrooms, price, square footage, that's what you really want to know anyway. And then of course you can have that conversation. And if it's not your listing, then you want to have a conversation with that agent so you're familiar with that property so you can speak intelligently about the upcoming open house. Does that make sense? Also make sure that when you have an open house, you put it into the MLS. There's a lot of steps that go into this. And if it's not your listing, talk to the agent so that they put it into the MLS so that it gets syndicated out to all of the other 800 websites, real estate websites that are out there, so that everyone knows, Zillow included, is going to syndicate that out. I think Zillow still syndicates out. I don't know now because everything changed. Apart from Zillow, we won't speak to Zillow because they're, of course, a brokerage now. But it will syndicate out to all those other websites that you are having an open house. Okay?
But what if I'm doing an open house for another company? What should you guys do there? How would you promote that open house? Right? I'm seeing a lot of stairs. If you're doing an open house for another company, just keep in mind that that's the most important time for you to make sure that you ask them to promote it through their channels as well, right? Because if it's one of our listings, you can easily promote it by letting us know you're doing the open house, and we'll advertise it and it'll blast out everywhere and all that good stuff because we control that listing. If it's a separate company, hey, whatever your company does to advertise, can you please make sure to put that I'm doing the open house Saturday, Sunday from this time to this time? If not, there's really not going to be any advertising done. Does that make sense? So make sure to remind that other agent, that other company to also put it through their channels as well. Okay?
Absolutely, for sure. One thing that's important.
We do have a question.
Yeah.
Redfin has a list. I can do it with the house.
No, again, so, it's up to us as agents. If you're asking permission from another company or another agent to do an open house and you have a conversation with a human being and they say yes, just remind them to advertise it for you. Now, can you call Redfin? I don't know. Good luck. I mean, try to find. Now, if there's a Redfin agent that you get a hold of and you say, hey, beautiful listing, can I host an open house? They'll either say yes, no, or leave me alone or whatever. But if they say yes, all I'm saying is remember to remind them to advertise through their channels that you're hosting an open house Saturday. They'll promote something like, open house hosted on Saturday and Sunday from this time to this time. But you gotta make sure to let them know, okay? So I'm saying after you've had this conversation with a person, with an agent.
But yes, you can do open houses for other companies.
Yeah.
You just have to call and get their permission. Some agents don't want to do an open house, so you'd be a great opportunity for you to
Right.
get out there and get some business, okay? Another thing that's critical of the day before you actually conduct this open house is to be familiar with
The neighborhood.
the neighborhood or sold properties, the comparables. You never want to do an open house and someone says, well, what did the house down the street sell for? And you forgot to check on that and you don't know. So make sure you're running your comps for any properties that are either in escrow or have sold recently. If it's in escrow, I would encourage you to make a phone call to that agent because they may already have like the appraisal done and pretty much wrapping that up. And you can give them up-to-date information. Lots of agents, at least I've found in the last 6-8 months, whenever I call an agent that something's in escrow, they're very cooperative with sharing with me where they are, appraisal coming in, so on and so forth. So make sure you're getting that information as well because you are the source of information. You are the resource for those who are out looking. You're the professional. All right, everybody follow me there? Also, if you're going to put signage on it, go back to signage is you want to map this out prior to where you're going to put these signs. Some of them have really busy intersections. You may not find a place you can stake it into the ground. You may need to have a A-frame sign and some weights to hold that up. So make sure you've mapped out where you're going to put your signs. You're going to get the most traffic passing by to your open house. So you're going to do that again the day before. I've got this handout right here, so what I'll do is I'll make sure that I email this to everyone, so you'll have it as well, but I would encourage you to still keep taking notes. All right? Any questions so far about before you start the open house?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there a minimum that I should have for signage? You guys aren't asking, but I know that's your question. How many signs minimum do I need for an open house?
25 is
That's a lot. I can't afford that. Is
8.
there a minimum? Seriously, is there a minimum? Okay. What do you guys think on the chat? So if you think there's a minimum signage that you need for an open house, let us know.
Every corner comes to, you would think that you have to have at least 6 to 10. So like we said earlier, a lot of agents have like the generic one.
Yes.
Or you can go grab ones at the border. So you would think that there would need to be enough that there's at least driving business to you.
So somebody's put on the chat 2 minimum. So again, the more, I mean, there's no right or wrong, but the more signs you have, the better promotion you're doing and the more activity you're going to have. It's common sense. If you have 2 signs, I would highly suggest that you have something in front of the house, a banner, a flag, something that says come in, welcome, open house. But you're only going to catch the traffic going on that street, right? So definitely want to get some traffic from the corners and the main intersections. So, I mean, 25 signs, 30 signs would be brilliant. It would be awesome. We're going to talk about how to set up the signs in a second. But if you don't have them, don't be afraid to ask. You can borrow some, right? All right. Oh, somebody asked, are these signs borrowed? So you are an independent contractor, so you should start purchasing signs if you're going to conduct open houses. But yes, if you ask around to the agents, we do have signs and agents are willing to share the signs that they have. And some of them don't have names. Some of them do have David's face and name and everything else. So you're promoting him. So you need to start promoting you. So maybe start, saving your pennies, purchase a couple signs here and there. Okay.
My the very first transaction that I closed was for an open house that I conducted, borrowing Chris Finoccio's signs. So it does work. So don't be afraid to use someone else's signs because once the potential customer or client is in the home, now at that point it's your opportunity to sell yourself. Okay, don't worry about those signs. When you're putting out your signs, it gets hot out here. I would recommend that you wake up early and put your signs up. Say, for instance, your open house is going to be like 11 to 3 or 1 to 4, whatever the case is going to be. I wouldn't try to put my signs up prior to the open house. You're going to start getting sweaty, and then you're going to try to walk into an open house and be professional, and maybe your makeup's running, or your guys, and your armpits are all soaking wet now, right? You don't want it to look like that. Wake up in the morning and put your signs up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Put them all out, and then you simply have one sign that has the time that you're going to be there. That's the way I do it. So that if someone drives past and like, oh, where's this open house? And they get there, they see it doesn't start till 1 o'clock. Then you can go home, you can get dressed, you're professional, you're clean, so when you go in, you smell fresh. Okay? That's what I would recommend if you're going to how to put your signs up. Follow me there? The night before, depending on where you are, Temecula is a little bit there, notorious for taking your signs away. Marietta, they don't really care. Depends on what city you're in. So be aware of some of that local ordinances that are in place for your signage, because many of them have had them thrown away. You go to your local house in Bear Creek, don't put anything near there, they'll throw it in the trash. I've lost signs. All right, so make sure, especially if you have like a gated community or something like that, ask. These places where you don't know. HOA, CCNRs change all the time. And so if you go and put all your signs up and you come back and they're gone, you're gonna be upset, but did you ask? All right, so I highly encourage you to do that because your signs are expensive enough, they're not free. So I think I started with 40 initially and I'm down to 20 something because one by one they just disappeared. People will pick it up and throw them in the bushes for no reason. Kids are just being silly. Things happen to your signs, okay? So just be aware of that. Other things you're going to need for successful open houses, someone will need to come to the open house to have an experience. It's not just going to be like any other open house I come in, I just walk out. It's an experience. So like for myself, I put them on the, we're actually going to use the conference room over there, but I've got signs that are laminated. It's on the front of the door that says, welcome, come in. As soon as they come in, there it is, it's a welcome sign. Come on in. It says right there, sign in. I'm always asking them to sign in multiple times throughout the home that they're there. All right, I've also had these right here. So I'll just pass these around. You can take a look at them. You want to collect information regarding the visitors to your open house. So this is a simple sign-in sheet. Now, there's some that we have the guest registry. They can sign in right there. This one here, I have multiple ones on the table. And so it is, you're just simply signing your information as you're walking through the home. And it also is giving feedback because I want to be able to tell the seller of that home what the potential home buyers are saying about that property. And so everything is right there. So I'll get their name, their phone number, their email, and feedback about that property from having something like this. Okay? That's what I encourage you to have as well. Property flyers, I know that we kind of went away from all that and everything was digitized. So maybe you can bring those back. I would encourage you to have a property flyer. This wonderful sheet that Jan had. I mean, I've never seen it before. It's brand new to me. I don't see it here.
Right here.
Yeah, this is.
This?
No. The one that she had was the comparing the homes.
Oh, comparing open houses. It's inside the.
Yeah, this little guy right here. This is probably the coolest thing I've seen. Yeah, this is really awesome. So have that as well.
Now, why would that be a cool thing to have? Because again, you're trying to be a resource, right? So Jan is being a wonderful resource for us as realtors, but you come to my open house and hey, come on in. Are you working with an agent? Please sign in, take a look, ask me questions. You go into David's open house, it's a little bit different. How long you guys been looking? You know, okay, awesome. It's super hot outside. You want some water? By the way, if you're shopping out today and you're looking at open houses, I have this really cool open house, you know. I don't know about you, but I always forget the first house. By the time I get to the second house, they start laughing. So here's a sheet that I created, right? You're creating value and you hand it off to them. It's different, something different that makes you stand out. Okay? The experience.
True story. You know, conducted an open house and gentleman left. And like 2 minutes later, he came back into the open house and he said, I just want to tell you that this is the most professional open house I've ever been to. Like, and I was not after anything. And so that's what you want to do as well, to showcase your professionalism, to provide value, so that you have the opportunity to earn business. Make sense? I would encourage you, if you have a lender who you work with closely, encourage them to come out to the open house with you and sit the open house. They can answer those financial questions that maybe you don't have the answers to. Maybe they can even start a pre-approval if the person is just out shopping, they haven't even began that yet. They can provide a lender's flyer, which tells them, so they're looking at the home, basically conventional FHA and VA payments and what that home would look like and down payment and so on and so forth. All of that you can provide as well. Now you see I've got these little flyers all over the place. I've got them over here as well. It's important for you to, again, provide information. Jan right here has got these wonderful home buyers and sellers guides. These are great to have. What I love to have is, I've got them over here, you won't see them on the screen, but I'm just saying, I'm going through pass it around. I've gone through the different cities, and I have school district maps. So for now, I want to be able to see which school district this is in, so that you can say, I want to be in X school district, and this is in Y school district, so it's not going to work for me, but I know homes that are in there now because it's mapped out. All right, that's one thing that we have, that I like to showcase. That you go online, you just Google like Marietta School District, you can find the maps, you print them out. If you need any of that information, I've got a lot of it. I got Lake Elsinore, I've got Menifee, I've got Temecula, I've got the French Valley, I've got a bunch of them. And they're slid in there and I can just showcase that as well when you're going through the open house. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with list reports. How are you familiar with list reports? List report, it's encouraged, it's free. Go to listreports.com. Any listing that you're going to do, you can get that information that I'm passing right now. It has the neighborhood food that's in that community, the school ratings in that area. What's conveniently close to around there, and then of course the other one is like parks and golf courses and all those things that are around that specific home. You put those up throughout the home as well. So when someone's walking through that home, their experience is much more that of a new home. Because when you go to a new home, there's all kinds of information, right? So community that the home is located in. You follow me? Your lender can go with you and you can get co-branding as well with list reports. But if you have never used list reports, totally free, listreports.com, sign up, get an account, and any home that you do an open house for, you can get this information. All right? Any questions? Not yet? Cool. We provided this thing. I'm going to pass it around. Maybe Felipe can show it to the agents there that are on Zoom. This is what does your dream home look like? So it's a way to get information about buyers who are shopping. And you're going to look on there, you're going to see, are they pre-approved or not? What's the maximum monthly payment that they want to pay for a home? You're going to put a name, phone number, email. I'm doing everything I can to put something in your hand and get your information. And when I do this, when I'm able to show you home built or other year built, what kind of garages they have, square footage of the home, location, bedrooms, bathrooms, all of that. You're able to tell me what you're looking for, and I'm able to say, let me put that information into the mobile listing service. And before you leave this open house, I can get you an email sent out every home that fits this criteria. Make sense? And you got it right there in your hand, because how many of us have a scratch pad, right? And then I don't know where I put that piece of paper, right? But this right here, you're going to start building their file with this. Everybody follow me on that one? That's a resource. That's actually, I think, already been sent out to you, but if you want it again, let me know. Important piece that what are some of the questions that people ask besides school zones when you come into a home? I don't know if you have any experience with this or not. They're going to ask you, what school district is it in? But there's also a big question that people want to know about, and maybe someone knows it. It's actually a 5-letter word, starts with T.
What's the main question people ask at open house? Taxes.
There it is. I want to know taxes. Now, there's the tax rate. What's the tax rate based on Proposition 13? 1%. I don't know 1%. Now, what's on top of that?
Or can be on top of that.
AKA special assessments, right? So I always like to have a flyer like this that showcases for the potential home buyer what the or special assessments are that are associated with that property. And if it's really low, I'm going to showcase that. But if it's high, I'm going to showcase that as well. Because like you were saying yesterday, right, Aaron? You had a buyer who was interested in the property, but what held them back?
Taxes.
Taxes. Yeah. Because you can easily be over there in Spencer's Crossing where you've got $3,000 or $4,000 worth of special assessments and go around the corner over Hot Springs and you've got, $150, $200 worth of special assessments annually. That could be a deal breaker. So make sure you're aware of that and you're showcasing that as well to those potential buyers. Everybody follow me there?
Yeah.
Couple things you want to make sure that you bring in with you. Jay has his bags, and his bag is good. I would talk to Jay because I'm not as cool because I don't think the bags were out back then. But I've got a box. And in this box, I bring a couple things with me to all your open houses. Believe it or not, I have a tape measure in here. Literally on Friday. I didn't have a tape measure, but he had it, and we're literally going through and measuring if his bed could fit in that room. So having a tool like this, it shows that you're prepared. And you know what you're anticipating what they're going to need before they actually need.
Like $20 the digital.
Oh, cool.
You can do the digital. I think there's even an app on your phone that you can even maybe do it. But again, be
Digital.
prepared for that.
That's awesome.
Some of you, maybe if you're listening and it's not yours, I've got these right here. These are just little blades because they go in and don't smell so fresh. Right? Seriously, when someone comes into the home, you want to wow them. Not necessarily the home. you're showing them that you're the professional, okay? When they come in, they remember the experience. Because do you remember a home that you went in and it smelled bad? Yes. You were, and the person in this house for 3 hours and it smells this terrible.
It smells like COVID in here.
What's going on? Right, so another thing. What's soothing about, maybe I don't know if I'm asking this question right now, but what's soothing about going into a new home? What do you hear in a new home when you go in there? What's typically going on?
It smells new.
Oh, so what do you hear in a new home?
When you go into new developers,
Yes, it is. Absolutely. They typically playing some soft music in there, right? Just kind of making you enjoy the experience a little further. So, you know, what I did is I invested in a Bluetooth speaker that I can connect to my phone or my camera, or rather to my phone or my computer. So when you come in the door, you know, it's an experience again. It's not just an open house. This is an experience. And this is a professional who knows how to sell. Because the other thing is this, is sometimes there's people who are looking for homes that are actually going to be wanting to sell their home. And when they see how you conduct an open house compared to the other open houses that they go to, they say, if I'm hiring an agent, I'm hiring a great agent because they're going to showcase my property in its best light and give me top dollar. Make sense?
or compare the agent with, 1 or 2 signs with a David photo versus somebody that has, 40, 50 signs, and that's doing the same community consistently every other weekend. And they start seeing a brand, they start recognizing your image, your branding, you're more likely to get called, right? And we've all heard the term nosy neighbors. I love nosy neighbors because it's a great opportunity to meet everybody in that neighborhood. And if they see you week in, week out, then guess what? You become the expert in that neighborhood. It's a good thing. It's actually a good thing.
You take 2 or 3 listings in one community, immediately you're the name. Like I literally have a listing now because my name's been out there and they just know that that's A.V. That's him. All right. So they stand out. Because those signs were consistently out there. Consistently. And that's building on that consistency with anything that we do. Other things that Felipe mentioned, you can put balloons out there. We got the upright, I believe, Felipe, we got the open house upright that you can stand in front of, the banner flag, they're out front here.
They're out
There's other ones as well. You can put out front as well to showcase that property. Now, in the past, I don't know, I would recommend if you're gonna do this, keep it closed. We did provide snacks or water, but just closed. I used to have like cookies fresh, and you set them out there, like literally baked cookies the morning of and stuff in there. Not something that I recommend right now. However, you could do package like granola bars or something of that nature. Again, especially if they come with kids. Oh my goodness, the kids actually love your snacks. All right, the parents are trying to stop from eating everything so they don't bounce off the side of the car on the way out of there. All right. Another thing is just having tape. I've got tape in there. I've got to post up anything. Again, just being prepared. Once you saw the kit there, you're ready to rock and roll. Jay, I know she mentioned, I didn't see in her kit, but I believe that they typically have these right here. And they've got the little booties. You know, some sellers don't want people coming in with their shoes on. They may take their shoes off, but some people don't take their shoes off. You've got the little booties for them to put on their feet. So they don't have to see about those off. This is actually right here. Corinthian Title. All right. So talk to Jan, she can get those for you as well.
And you got the matching little sign right here. So these are actually really cool, little pop-ups.
So Jan, of course, she provided us with one of these for flyer holders, but you can see I've got multiple. I've got them all over the house, or all over this place. I would encourage you to go to Staples is where I got mine, or any office supply stores. Get about 8 of them so you can showcase everything in there, because you can set the piece of paper down when you go to the new home. It's typically showcased like this. I try to, and you should do the same. I encourage you to set that home up as best you can to look like a new home.
The model home, right?
Right, the model homes. Don't forget your laptop, your day planner, so you can set counts, so you can set appointments. Bring that with you. Have your name tag on. You're a professional.
Internet.
And your Wi-Fi hotspot if you need that. Okay, because you may go somewhere and they have a poor signal. And you're like, oh no, now I can't get on the MLS to show or do anything. Again, we don't think about these things until we get there sometimes. Oh, man. And if you have a bad cell signal, right, and you're not able to use the Wi-Fi hotspot, I will make sure that you talk to that owner of the home and say, hey, I need your Wi-Fi password to log in to be prepared. All right, last thing you want to do is like, well, yeah, we're looking for a home in this area. Can you pull up a couple? Like, yeah, no problem. Oh, internet connection. I'll do that later. Not gonna work. Okay, be prepared. When you go into the home, now there's some rules that we typically like to give our home sellers as far as getting the home ready, but they don't always get it done. So you may come in and you may see dishes in the sink. But prepare to come a little early so that if you see dishes in the sink, you wash those dishes or put them in the dishwasher or something. You don't want anything in your sinks. You may come in and they were in a rush and they didn't make the bed. Make the bed for them. I'm serious. Like, these things are important to do. I don't have it in this box right here. I typically have it, just didn't bring it today. Toilet paper. Believe it or not, especially if the home is vacant, people come by and they may need to use the bathroom. So you want to have one bathroom in that home, has toilet paper, has soap. You can see we got a little soap dispenser right here, and then has a little hand towel for them to dry their hands. Make sure that's in there because it has no find space. Those people try to get through them. If they have a little kid, it'd be great. But oh, don't worry, we've got everything in there for you. Okay? These little pieces right here help you stand out compared to other agents that are conducting open house. Any questions?
That's a lot so far. Any questions, you guys? Comments?
What about people who own a house?
Say that again?
What about people who own a house?
Older house?
Owners, you know,
Oh, a hoarder's house.
Yeah, those and those.
Because that never happens.
No, absolutely.
So what about a hoarder's house? That's a good question.
Great question. So what you're going to try to do is, if you're the listing agent on that one, you want to help them get that house prepared. Now, if you can't do anything about that, you can't get rid of the things and stuff it all in the garage, you're going to want to try to showcase it in its best light possible. That goes back to our listing and preparing that way to say, hey guys, we've got a home here. We want to make sure that people can see this space. You've got a great living room here. It would be awesome for entertaining, but we have so much stuff in here, we can't really envision this space. So we're going to have to start pulling these things out. So this is what you want to prepare for from the listing standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
If it's another open house that you're looking at doing and you see that, I would probably recommend
Do another open house. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, if it's not your listing and it's a hoarder situation, pick another house.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't waste your time. But if it's your listing, then yes, you set the expectation, go back, watch the listing videos. That's a conversation you have to have with the sellers and say, we're trying to get top dollar. We need to talk about the condition and everything else, right? I wouldn't be doing an open house, somebody else's house that was a hoarder's situation. No, yeah, there's plenty out there.
Great question though. Build rapport. When you're conducting this open house, try your best to not be a salesperson. Be a friend. Build a friendship with that person. So you don't want to only just particularly ask them, what are you looking for as far as square footage and price, but how many kids do you have? What sports do they play? What hobbies do you like? Like you would talk to a friend. Because now you're getting to know them. And then when you ask those open-ended questions, they're going to divulge to you information that you didn't think about. And you're going to be taking this, oh, wow, okay, great. So build rapport and make a friend, not a customer, okay? Remember that little piece right there as you're having those conversations. So, a couple of things here. Again, I'm going to send all this to you, but sometimes you don't know what to say. And so, what I present to you is just a couple, but this is where you can start, and you can build on this. What brought you out today? That's the question you got. Are you local to the area or visiting from out of town? We're seeing a lot of that right now. So now I know you're from San Diego, so maybe you don't know this area, so now I can kind of educate you on where you are. Make sense? But if I don't know, I just assume you're from Marietta and we're in Marietta home, I'm not going to show you information about this place, right? If you're from out of town, is that commute going to be something that's going to work for you? How far do you want to be? What's the furthest commute that you want to have to your job? Right? Those types of questions that you're asking. Do you currently own or rent a home? Great question to be asking because you don't know what they're doing. And if they're renting a home, okay, we can talk about that with their leases. But if they own a home and they're looking, now I'm looking at another potential listing. But you've got to ask these questions, all right? Please, please, please make sure you ask this question. Are you currently working with a great lender and pre-approved? Because you don't want to start this process when you're trying to set up to go show them some more homes that they didn't like that one. If they haven't taken the very first step in home ownership, is getting pre-approved. We can do nothing for anyone if they're not pre-approved. We agree with that? All right. I mean, I've showed a home to someone who wasn't pre-approved. I'm guilty of it. It happened before, but
I think we all have. Yeah.
we try to our very best to say, hey, let's get you pre-approved because I don't want to waste your time. Make sense? I want to encourage you to do that. You want to know their time frame that they're looking at? Some people have just started. They've got 6 months. Others, they need to be in right now. Kids got to start school. So think about that as well. You want to ask them what they like about that home, and then maybe ask them what this home maybe was missing that they wish the home had.
That's a good question right there. And that's something we tend to not naturally say, right? But say that one again, because that's a great closing question.
What did you like about this home and what is it missing that you wish it had?
Right.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that does take practice because we don't naturally tend to say that, have that kind of conversation. So that's something that I hope if you're on the screen there, write that question down because you're going to have to practice role playing, asking these basic questions, right? And you're not asking this at the door, by the way. This is once you're having the time to go ahead and have that conversation when they've already previewed the home or they're looking around and they've been in there for a few minutes. But definitely just pick up on those little notes about having that conversation, asking those questions, because that's not a natural question to ask, right?
And another way that I like to phrase the same question similar to is to paint me a picture of what your dream home looks like.
There you go.
It's an open-ended question. They're going to tell you, okay, I want, single story. I need 4 bedrooms, cul-de-sac, really would love a pool, looking for the low taxes if possible, so on and so forth, right? Now you know what they're looking for because this is what they see in their mind, and we can see if that's out there for them. Open-ended questions are the best ones. Again, they're going to divulge you more information so you can help them find it. And then you can also ask the question, have they seen a home that they really loved in the past? If we can go back to that home, so they know the address, and we can compare, okay, that is what they really love. That home got sold, so doesn't work, but let's find something similar. Make sense? Any questions on that one there? Good, we'll go now because we're actually running out of time. I'm going to try to keep us as close as we can to our time frame. Wrapping up. Don't make any mistakes when you're finishing up. Make sure the home is in the same condition you found it or better. Right? Can't stress that enough. Turn off all their lights. I know these are like simple things, but when someone comes home and people got bills to pay and they don't have a solar, so they don't know why they got a pool out back and it's pumping up, make sure all those lights are off. Make sure all doors are locked. I know these are simple things, but you want to make sure that you're doing that. Double check that you left nothing behind. Right? Put the key back in the lockbox. Too often agents take the keys with them.
Oh, yeah.
Put it back in there and then provide that seller with feedback. So if you've got something like this right here, you can leave these behind. Okay? It's got all the information right there. Go ahead.
Or if you're doing an open house for another agent in this office or in another company, set yourself apart, provide feedback. Hey, thank you so much for the opportunity. If you ever have another opportunity in the future, let me know. I want to be your person for open houses. By the way, we had 10 people come through. This is the feedback. This is the consensus, so you can get that to your seller. That now separates you from 99% of all the other realtors out there. You actually provided some value and some feedback so that they can go to their seller, right? If that makes sense.
Absolutely. I got 5 points for you. We're going to finish up, and that's your 5 steps plan of success for follow-up. So write down these 5 things. Okay? When you're all done with the open house, this is based on the information that you received on whatever your sign-in sheet was, no matter however it was you were collecting it. The Monday after the open house, send a thank you email. That's all it's going to say. Don't ask for business or anything like that. Say thank you for coming to the open house while it's fresh in their mind. Now they've got your email address, they've got everything there. That's your first step. The Monday after your open house, you do it on the weekend. All right? On Wednesday, number 2, and I forgot to tell you email. So it could be anything. I almost forgot to tell you, if you need to sell your home, I'd be happy to run a market analysis for you. Anything that you maybe forgot to tell them because you typically forget something, or just have something say, hey, you know what? There's another home that just came on the market I wanted to tell you about. That could be in there as well. It's just you're providing information. I forgot to tell you, email. That's your second step. Number 3 is going to be a personal phone call. Number 3 is a personal phone call. Great day to do that is on Thursday. So we've done Monday, we've done Wednesday, and now on Thursday, I'm going to just send a phone call and say, hey, you know what? I know the weekend's coming up. Didn't know if you guys have any plans to come out and see any homes. Not all homes have open houses. I can set you up for a private showing for a home that maybe you're interested in. So that would be step number 3 is the personal phone call. All right? Step number 4, 1 week after, so the following Monday, maybe you haven't heard from them, don't know what's going on, just follow up. Say, I was just thinking about you. I'm starting my work week. Want to know if there's anything that I can do for you and your family. All right, that's all it is. 1 week after, I was thinking of you. Step number 5, when you're all said and done there, is simply your drip campaign. Putting them into your CRM, sending them periodic emails so that you say what?
Top of mind.
Top of mind. Very good. That's the 5 steps that I would say suggest for you to have success. Last but not least, I'll just read this for you right here, all right? Eye-opening statistics in sales applies to all sales, not just real estate. Only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. That means that 90% of salespeople are either A, lazy, or B, terrible at their jobs. 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and the 12th contact.
80% what?
80% of all sales are made between the 5th to the 12th contact.
Right.
So if I called that person or I sent an email, and then I called again and I sent another email, that's only 4. I haven't even got to that 5th step yet. You have to continue to touch these people. If you don't, they're going to find someone else. It's just going to happen that way. The way to stay top of mind is continue to reach out. All right? So that's why open houses, excuse me real quick. Do you see the importance of contacting prospects more than twice or even 3 times? That's why open house follow-up using a drip campaign is so important to real estate agents. Use these open up follow-up activities soon, and soon you'll be so busy that you won't even have time to do an open house. Right? And remember that the sale you're going for here is not the sale of a house, it's the sale of you as an agent.
Sell of yourself.
Everybody follow me there? Any questions?
Feel free to type in your questions if you're on the chat, or actually we can hear you guys too. So
It's just
if you have
about 12
questions.
o'clock. How many of us are ready to book an open house this weekend?
Yes. We already have some
I
scheduled,
got
I
one
think.
hand, I got
Yeah.
another hand out. There we go. I would encourage you now, get out there, brand yourself, show that you're the professional. A lot of people still aren't ready to go right back to work. You are. You got all the tools that you need. If there's anything here that I've shared, you need, you want, please. Those of you who are watching online as well, shoot me an email. I'm more than willing to share everything because I want you, we want you, Felipe and the team, want you to be successful and to stand out among a herd of agents that are out there.
Yep.
All right?
Awesome.
There was a list of phone numbers, Riverside County, they phone numbers. Do we still offer the Sector 21 concierge service?
Yes.
To our clients?
Yes.
That will take care of it.
Yes.
Mhm.
You just have to set it up. And by setting it up, I mean, once you have a client, you have to remember your login and just log in and put their
It's free.
information. It's completely free. And you can set up their information for them, or you can have them set it up going to your website. So there's a couple steps. He's talking about a concierge program that we offer. It's a live person, and it's at no cost to your clients. And that person will always keep you top of mind and be that go-to intermediary for your clients. If they're moving from out of state into this state, for example, the concierge would set up their utilities for them, let them know. I mean, basically, they're like their personal Google or Alexa, right?
It's a good selling point for us.
It's amazing. It's huge, and none of us are taking advantage of it. We just have to get back into looking at that training. Okay, so Maria Speed took advantage of it one time. Like, all right. Yes, sir.
As it does, it makes us feel like I've had a few clients where it's like, hey, you come get there, reached out to you, and I didn't go in there yet.
Yeah, so because when you open escrow, right, and when you submit your dash form to us and everything else, I think that if there's an email on there, the concierge service will reach out to them. But if you're new, you don't have to wait till you open escrow. You can start promoting it, talking about the concierge service, obviously get the details and information about it before you do so. And once you know how to do it, all you have to do, you can sign up a buyer before they're in escrow. You can tell them that this is part of the service you provide, is you're going to give them a 24/7 live person concierge at no cost to them, and tell them, and you take the kudos. I provide to you, part of the service I provide is I will give you this, right? You guys will be rock stars, and nobody else has really signed up on it yet. I mean, we've been signed up for months, but we just haven't taken that
You gotta
opportunity.
reach out to your clients and let them know. We just closed one up in Hemet, and I told my client like 3 times. Then he got there and the water was still off, and I was like,
Yep.
I told you, did you call them? He's like, no. I said, call them right now, because they're gonna get everything on for you, but you gotta make the phone. And they make the phone call, like, oh, everything's on. So just encourage them. They forget, they see the email, like, yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah.
You just gotta remind them.
And just go on 21online.com and just type in concierge, or no, actually we can't pull it up on there because it's a third-party service that we did. I signed this up for
Go
it.
through.
We have the training video recorded on YouTube. So make sure to take a look at that. We'll put some notes on there as well. No, it's not only, sorry, I'll answer your question. There's a question, is it only for moving into California? No. It's for all of your clients, sellers, buyers, anybody.
Mhm.
Okay? What was your question, Claudia? It is Move Easy, yes, Move Easy. So moveeasy.com, and every agent has their own website, which is what John was saying, which is really nice because you will have your own concierge website, which your customers can go to, and you can put in all of your vendors, your plumbers, electricians, people you've worked with in the past, so that your clients always have somebody to go to, and it'll be on your website. So it helps you stay top of mind. It is a very cool service, Winnie, and hopefully you'll get some information on that soon. Cool. No other questions, you guys? We're good.
Rock on. Thanks for coming. Again, we're here for anything you guys need. Give us a call, email, please. All right?